And you really need to use debt consolidation, team. This is really the golden goose right now. Like any good football coach or any good quarterback, they're going to say, hey, let's take what the defense gives us. And what the defense is giving us right now, one of the points of friction is that rates have gone up a little bit, and a lot of your competitors out there are not realizing the opportunity that exists by using debt consolidation. You have these tools in MBS Highway. So, refinancing in a higher rate market, let's use a hypothetical scenario. Let's just say somebody had a rate of 3% and they bought a home with an 80 LTV. So 3% and no MI. Now, over time, their home appreciated naturally and their loan balance amortized naturally. So they've got some equity in the home, like most people do. Most people have over $200,000 in equity. The average LTV is 51. Pretty crazy, right? So they've got equity, but they are in an environment where they look at the current interest rate environment. Let's just say rates are 1% higher, 4%. And let's even throw in some expensive closing costs and say they're $4,000 for closing costs. Now, remember, you shouldn't include prepaids and escrows in closing costs, but even outside of prepaids and escrows, they're 4,000 bucks. So we look at this, and the normal loan originator would say, why should I bother that customer and ask if they wanted to refinance? Because it just doesn't make sense. I'm not even going to call them because their payment's going to go up 116 bucks a month and they got to pay $4,000. It doesn't seem that it makes sense. I'm not even going to contact them. But if they did contact them, as we've talked about in the past, they're going to discover that that family has debt, maybe 20,000 credit cards, Best Buy, Macy's, modest car loan for a Chevy, and maybe they've got alimony. And when we look at it, we put it into the debt consolidation tool that you all have access to. Then what you're able to see is that by taking their loan amount and increasing it to cover closing costs by $4,000, their LTVs now is 60. When they bought the home at an 80, amortization and appreciation has brought it to a 60. I can no brainer do this at a 75. So you got all this space here, which is translated for you to $91,000. So if we use this 91,000 to pay off the debt, increase the loan amount, what would that do to payment? And in this particular real live scenario, it's $1,800 about. Now that's great, but we can also look at things like, hey, you've got a little bit more room here. You still got $30,000. What if we took that $30,000 and used half of it to do your bathroom with some debt consolidation? And now instead of saving 30,000, we're saving, I'm sorry, instead of saving $1,800 a month, we're saving $1,700 a month. And instead of having 30,000 left, you still have $15,000 left, but we're not going to use it. Now, $1,700 a month, it's a lot of money every month to save. And they could put that in their pocket, but let's face it, their ratios are low. So it's not like they're struggling to make the payments. They can handle their overall indebtedness of $5,000 a month without too much of a problem. So when we think about it, we say, you know what? What if we reduce the term of your mortgage and reduce it so that you're paying the exact same thing you're paying now? You're easily able to afford that. What would that do to reduce your term? It's going to reduce it a lot and it'll even bring your interest rate down a lot because your term's less. But if we wanted to even give you the option to voluntarily pay the $1,700 a month, we keep it at a 30-year fix at the higher rate of 4%. But what would that do if we applied this all towards principal? And the answer is interesting. It would take your current balance, which is 26 years and 10 months, and cut it by more than half. You'll only have 12 years and 5 months worth of mortgage. So instead of 322 payments of that $5,100 a month, you'd have 149. So we're going to save you 173 payments. Guys, it's the best retirement plan in the world to know that you've got essentially $5,000 a month coming in for the next 173 months. This is something that is life-changing for the customer. And you don't have to wait the full 12 years and 5 months. Look, even just 5 years down the road, if you hang up the phone, you don't do anything, you'd amortize 48,900, let's call it 49,000. But instead here, you'd amortize, if you do it this way, you pay the same amount of money. You just let AmeriFirst do it for you in a smarter way. And now you benefit by $107,000 guaranteed and tax-free. Doesn't matter what the stock market, bond market, Bitcoin, doesn't matter what it does. You just make the mortgage payment. You got an extra $107,000 tax-free in 5 years. In 10 years, you got an extra 241. And 12 years and 5 months from now, when this thing is paid off, you benefited by an extra $317,000. So we got your retirement already set for the next 15 years after that. And you could use this for anything you want, including your kid's college education. You know, you got a 3-year-old beautiful child there. Maybe it might be a good idea to do this because by keeping your payment exactly the same, nothing's changed. You got your retirement and your kid's college taken care of. Wow, that's pretty life changing. The only thing that did change though is while their payment's the same, now you included their bathroom in there. So they've got a home that's worth more enjoyment every single day, kids' college taken care of, and their retirement taken care of. Their payment didn't change $1.